Hello everyone, welcome to today's show called Cannabis and Movies. My name is Darkmoondoll and I'll be your host today. Cannabis and Movies is a show where I review movies that happen to have cannabis in them. It can be a very small part. It could be a side character off on the street smoking a joint. Doesn't matter. If it's in there, I'll review it. Because I feel like Hollywood, aka I call it Hollyweird, is trying to portray the cannabis partaker as a lazy slacker who gets into nothing but trouble. So I'm going to see how these movies do. I'll just take each one by one. So today's review is going to be about the movie Easy Rider. I don't know how many people have seen Easy Rider out there. I'm sure a lot of people who were born, in that time period, or were around in that time period, were adults or teenagers, they've probably seen the movie Easy Rider. So anyway, I looked it up on IMDb. I saw the movie about, I think 2 years ago for the first time. So yeah, I never seen this movie. When I saw it 2 years ago, it was kind of like, wow. I was blown away. So anyway, IMDb was describing it as two counterculture bikers travel from Los Angeles to New Orleans in search of America. Directors Dennis Hopper, which I'm sure a lot of people know of. The main stars is Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, and Jack Nicholson. And all these people you know, I'm sure. Well, what I have to, and it took place in 1969. So what I would have to say about this movie is I have the same feeling. If you saw my review last week on the movie The Trip, and the other movie that's on the other side of the DVD, it has the same kind of vibe. It has the same kind of like just easygoing kind of feeling. So like Jack Nicholson's role, he's this very professional lawyer type guy, dressed in a suit and everything. Peter Fonda is more of a, and Dennis Hopper were more like laid back. They ride on their motorcycles and all that, and just explore the world. Well, their world. And so like Jack Nicholson's character ends up pairing up with these guys, and they're on the motorcycles and everything. And the key cannabis moment was when Peter Fonda took out a joint and offered some to Jack Nicholson's character. And he's like, oh no, I mean, because he drinks a lot of alcohol, but so he tried it for a little bit, and he's like, man, I can't feel anything. And then Peter Fonda's all, well, his character, he's all, well, you've got to inhale it to feel it. You gotta hold it in, like telling him he has to hold it in order to even feel anything from the joint. And yeah, it was interesting. It was just so laid back how it was like just kind of put into the movie, how cannabis entered into it. It wasn't like it was some sort of huge revelation that occurred with him trying cannabis, or was some huge, crazy event that happened, like some crime was committed or whatever like that because of cannabis. Now what's interesting is later on down the line they take LSD and they go on their own little adventures and stuff. And if anybody's seen this movie, they know what happens at the end. It's a pretty tragic ending. And it shows the brutality of law enforcement back then when it came to cannabis. They just lumped it in with all the other drugs, or so-called, that's what they call them, drugs. With LSD, they lumped it in with that, with heroin and cocaine, just like they do now as well. And they're starting to loosen their grip on controlling our reality about what a cannabis partaker really is and what that means. I mean, it really doesn't mean that we're any much different than anybody else. All it means is that some of us need more of this herb in our system than others. So anyway, this movie, it it really did, like I was saying, it really brought home the brutality of the law enforcement towards people that don't want to abide by these, what I think are insanely controlling rules. I mean, trying to control what people can put into their bodies. And it showed that the time period, how they rode their bikes, their motorcycles into this town. It seemed like it was a hick town. I mean, if anybody's seen this movie, maybe you don't agree, but it seemed like a hick town. They went into this restaurant to eat, and these people just kept looking at them. They're like, oh, they're hippies, they got long hair, and it showed the reality of that time period, I'm sure. I mean, if I'm sure if somebody came into a little hick town and they were men and they had long hair, it was shocking. When I lived in Chicago, I never saw men with long hair. Now that I live in California, I mean, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, this movie, I love this movie. I thought it was good. I think it was well written. What's interesting to me about these movies from this time period, if you guys know of any movies, put them down in the comment section. But I find what's interesting about these movies is I don't really see a lot of people with dark skin, brown skin, and, you know, tightly coiled hair in there. I don't see that in any of these, like, psychedelic type of movies as much. Maybe there's some out there that I haven't seen. But I mean, like, in this time period, the 60s, maybe that's more so in the 70s. But yeah, I mean, I highly recommend this movie. A lot of people were talking about this movie at one point in my life, and I don't know, I guess I may have misjudged it. I'm just gonna, I don't have a good grinder, so I grind it up with my fingers. See, I've got some herb. It is from our harvest, and it's Girl Scout cookie is what it is. Anyway, if you were wondering, this is a great movie. I totally highly recommend it if you can find it. I'm sure you could find it. You can get it on Amazon, I'm sure, too. So. Holy shoot. So anyway, yeah, Easy Rider, awesome. I thought the acting was really well. And I gotta talk about Peter Fonda. When I saw him smoking that joint, it just seemed so chill and relaxed, just like in the movie I reviewed last week, The Trip. I mean, he was just what I see a cannabis partaker as being. Someone who wants to be free. Be free to just be themselves. I mean, a lot of cannabis partakers are artists. So, you know, it really opens up that creativity even more. And I thought Easy Rider, just like the movie The Trip, I thought it was the same as a piece of artwork. I mean, but to me also, I think of it and I look at it, and at the end of the movie it was a tragic ending. All of them. And if you're don't watch this movie. Watch this movie first before you watch this review. I should have said that, because when I do the review, I might reveal things that you might want to find out on your own. But it's a tragic end, and it kind of seems like, I don't know, even back then that Hollywood maybe got inside of there and go, okay, this is a cool movie. We're showing everything about these countercultural people and how they live in the society that's still kind of like resistant to change, to positive change. So like it was, at the end, the way it ended so tragically, they wanted to show that if you do this, if you take these substances, then you'll have a harmful end. It still had that kind of vibe to it, even though it wasn't verbatim said that right at you, like Reefer Madness did. But this movie kind of, at the end of it, kind of gave you that foreboding feeling like, we're still not free, and there's not much you can do about it. The end kind of feeling. That's the only one thing I'm really upset about, because whether people realize it or not, they are affected by what they look at and see every day. Whether it's movies, commercials, ads, what you name it. You know, we're bombarded by commercialism all the time. And within the commercialism, Hollywood has a way of getting in there and inserting things in there to help you to believe that it's true. A lot of times it's false information. So I want you guys to be aware and informed. And yeah, I'm working on starting my new channel called The Productive Cannabis Partaker. So I'll keep you posted on that. Within that channel, I feel like I can go more in depth about what I'm learning about cannabis. This right here is like a movie review, so I can only go so far. So stay tuned for that, and I will keep you up to date with that as well. So yeah, until then, guys, thank you for coming by to watch today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you know, it may inspire you to go out and get the movie and check it out. You know, kick back with your friends, smoke a bowl or two, a joint, whatever. Bong, you know, if you're fortunate to have one. I don't have one. Mine broke, unfortunately. Frowny face. But anyway. Yeah, just educate yourself, guys. Go out there and get a little more bold and brave about it, because it's getting closer and closer to becoming legal. So, on that note, have a very that bit me back. Have a very lovely day, everyone, or evening or afternoon, wherever you are. I noticed somebody in comments was commenting from Germany, so that's awesome. It's awesome. I didn't expect like a ton of people to watch this show. I just wanted to bring it forth because I wanted to put out there my opinions about cannabis and what I think is going on within the movie industry. So I'm happy, and thank you for watching so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. I'm getting so flustered. And thank you for sharing this with your friends and family, because people need to be aware. The